Started.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RTB. If you're joining us for the first time, we're glad that you're here. We're happy to have you along, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hi, my name is Colette Allen,
And my name is Alfred Allen Sr.
and welcome to Restoring the Brokenness. So today weren't here last week.
Or the week before that.
No, it was just last week.
Okay.
And we went to a funeral and some other events occurred. And so we're back here today and really excited because it's one of our favorite topics is let's talk about it. And that consists of whatever we want to talk about. So before we start the show, Al, you can do the disclaimer.
Absolutely. Well, we, the hosts and guests of Restoring the Brokenness group, do not claim to be counselors, therapists, psychologists, or psychiatrists. The information provided are based on our own experience and only intended to inspire, encourage, and uplift you. We advise you to seek professional help when dealing with circumstances beyond your control.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You guys listen. I hope you think everybody can hear us because I can't. I don't know. Let's just check and make sure everything's up and running. Okay, so listen. Starting July 2nd, we are going to be completely YouTube. So if you're seeing us on following us on Facebook, remember that July 2nd, you have to go to YouTube on Restoring the Brokenness and subscribe to our channel and meet us on that side. So
That's it, huh?
Yes, that's all. You just need to just go to Restoring the Brokenness YouTube and subscribe. Remember to subscribe, and you can keep up with what we're doing on that side. So
sometimes you simply have to cut some people loose, right? Cut some things loose.
Well, I
right?
guess I was just saying that we're evolving.
Absolutely.
We are evolving. So guys, right now, just like and share our page. Let people know we're on. I normally try to do that, but for some reason my page doesn't really quite act accordingly. So, Alfred, you know what we're talking about this week? Let's talk about it. It's so much going on in the news, y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
Absolutely.
So you all,
I would have loved to talk about something different, but it's a reoccurring tragic situation that seemed to just want to engulf our whole entire nation.
Yes.
I would love to talk about the 123 million tons of gold just discovered in Uganda, that's worth trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, but we have to keep step with the news of what affects us.
Okay.
So that's why we're here, and that's why we're going to talk about what we're talking about.
Let's just talk about it. Okay. So guys, listen. I love to inspire. I love to enlighten. I love to grow, and I'm always trying to evolve.
Absolutely.
As you get older, you start really putting things in perspective and what really matters and what really don't. And so in doing that, you find that there's a lot of healing that makes take place in your life.
Wow.
And that's one of the reasons why I have the Restoring the Brokenness, because there are people who was like, how are you gonna restore the broken when you broken? The exact you have to have experienced brokenness to even be able to identify with it with someone else. You agree?
I totally agree. I totally agree. Peter, when the Lord told him that the devil would want to sift him like wheat, but he prayed for him, and he said once he's strengthened, then he told him to go and strengthen the brethren.
Okay, so when you're healed, you're able to heal others,
right?
Because you know what it takes to allergies. You know what it takes to get that person to where you've been, and you've gone past that. So one of the things that I want to talk about right now is this quote that I just heard about the other day. I am actively healing.
Wow.
A part of healing is pain. Change the way you talk and change the way you think. The first thing that I was thinking about is, wow, I'm actively healing. Because sometimes when you've been hurt or you've been injured or you've been treated badly, you always find yourself really engulfing your emotions in that pain. And one of the things that this gentleman, which we're going to watch this little clip, really made note of, instead of saying what I've been through, what I'm going through, you say to yourself, I am actively healing, which means it's a ongoing process. And within in almost anybody's life that has experienced trauma, brokenness, just whatever that has injured you emotionally, you will find yourself constantly allowing yourself to heal. If you don't allow yourself to heal, you're going to find yourself stuck. That's right. And I've seen how stuck people behave. And that was, that was one of the quotes that I mean, we're not moving on. I want to sit in that for a minute, because this show is based on that mentality of uncovering that wound, taking the Band-Aid off. Sometimes when you're hurt, the first thing as a child you want to do is, Mommy, wear the Band-Aid. And she cover it, but after a while, you kind of pick it off anyway, because the best way to heal is to uncover it. That's because right. You got to let the air get to it and dry it out, or whatever it takes. But if you keep putting the Band-Aid on what your pain is, you'll find yourself stuck. And instead of talking or expressing, I am actively healing, you'll continue to relive that injury. And that's something that Restoring the Brokenness really like to just I like ripping the Band-Aid off. Yes. Give it all to me. I want to talk about it.
No matter how long the road is to restoration, to restore it, you have to keep on moving.
Right.
The road is already long, so why would you want to stop? Sometimes it's a long road to fruition, but once you get there, you're glad that you just kept on moving and not settle in one place and just become complacent and engulfed with your feelings. Sometimes you have to just like they say in the army, just keep it moving.
Right.
No matter what, keep it moving. That's how we get there. That's how we get to that goal. Right. You just have to crawl, walk, crawl,
Whatever
whatever,
it
but
takes.
just keep on moving.
Right. So let's see that clip that I'm alluding to. Make it big, please.
I just got out of a bad relationship.
hear it.
After 4 years, I sold my house, I sold my 3 cars, and this year I'm starting off from the ground up, brand new mentality.
So do me
new
a
mindset.
favor, right? So if you're going to change the mindset, don't ever say that shit again. You didn't get out of a bad relationship. I just got out of a, look, I ruptured my pec major tendon in the gym. I had to get surgery. I couldn't move my arm, all sorts of complications. I was doing acupuncture. And every time I walk in, my acupuncture therapist said, Phil, how you doing? I said, man, I'm hurting. Man, I'm hurting. He says, Phil, listen, I know it hurts. What's the goal? I said, well, to heal. He said, all right, so from now on, anytime anyone ever asks you how you're doing, I'm actively healing. Part of healing is pain. You don't have to focus on the pain. I'm actively healing. You didn't get out of a bad relationship 4 years. I just spent 4 years learning about myself and all the things I don't want to do again. So now I'm going to get it. You see what I'm saying? Just change the way you talk, you change the way you think, and everything shifts.
All right. Bring it back to us, please. Oh, my
Beautiful.
gosh.
Powerful. Very powerful.
It's powers in what you say and in the mindset that you in what you say it in.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
What you think about that?
I think that's words to live by.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was, like I said, I was driving my truck and I reached up under to disconnect something and there's a spider that got on me. And as I was driving, that spider bit me over 10 times. And it wasn't the worst type of spider. And when I got to where I was going, I was wondering why I was feeling so dizzy and lightheaded. But the spider bit me and I didn't heal within a couple of days. These were wounds that had to heal from the inside out. So they had to keep on getting picked apart. And eventually I got there, but it was the pain and everything I had to go through to get to that. You know, it's just an analogy of what how I feel, what
Right.
the gentleman is saying. You have got to realize that you're not going to heal overnight. It might take a while, but you have to realize that you're in the process of healing. You can't just give up and say, well, I'm not there yet, so nothing's happening. I don't think I'll ever heal. No, you're like what he said you're doing. You're actively
healing. And
what
one
a
of
beautiful
right. And what he said is, change the way you talk about it. Change the way you think about it. For 2 years straight, I went through pure, what I would say, hell. I've never experienced that amount of injury emotionally. And I literally had to go through stages of healing. And it was until I was able to just let all of that out. Like a lot of people say, oh, that's behind me. I do not in any way believe any of that. If you don't address the issue,
right?
If you're not real with yourself, you're just spinning your wheels. You say it's behind you, but I can assure you, if you have not really dealt with that, it's going to come back. Something's going to trigger those emotions and you'll find yourself right back in that space. In order to move past it and really heal from it, first of all, you have to admit, I'm hurt.
Right.
I'm injured. I have pain within my soul or within my mind or within my heart that it's going to take time to process and move forward. So that is why I completely agree. I absolutely agree with what this man said is actively healing. It is constant. It's a constant thing. Wow. And once you allow yourself to go through the healing process, as you were talking about with the spider, that's the only way you can heal. And when I talk about that whole taking the Band-Aid off, I remember my mom, she had a pressure sore in her head and it had a scab. I didn't even know it was a pressure sore. Right. So the nurse decided, oh, I said, she has a sore in her head. I don't know where it come from. She took the scab off. I was furious. I'm like, now you're making it worse. She was like, in order for it to heal, I have to open it up so it can heal from the inside out. And some of the things in your life that you've experienced, it is just, don't surface it. Don't just act like, oh, I'm past that, whatever. That's surface. You have to be healed from the inside out. And when you're healed from the inside out, you don't have to worry about those things that really hurt you as being a trigger to cause that pain to revisit you, because you've actually it allows yourself to heal from the inside out and not just a surface like, oh, this is all behind me. That's the lie. That's not true. And until you're honest with yourself, you're going to find yourself still right in that place. Everything that anything that a reminder of what you've gone through is going to take you right back emotionally to that place of hurt and pain.
Wow. I agree with you. And you said something that really stuck with me. You have to accept and identify, realize that first you're hurt, you know, and then after that, you have to honestly deal with the mind, the heart, and the soul. Everything has to be working in concert with one another for you to be able to realize that you're in a situation that you need to get out of. It's like the touche. It's like when two men are fencing, you know, and you're fighting your opponent. And in this situation, you have to let him know, okay, what you're doing is working. You helping one another. So if he hits a mark, then the guy that was hit said, touche. That means that you have struck the point that would be fatal if we were actually fighting with swords. And that's how the other person gets better, by hearing that touche. You know, I'm actually hurt, and I'm going to acknowledge that I am in a situation where that I need to heal.
Right. And that's the beginning of it. And also be honest with yourself that like hurt and injury does not heal overnight. I mean, you know what this is another thing that I want to say about the whole healing process. A lot of times people think that the healing process consists of you forgiving the person and moving on. That is just the beginning. You can forgive a person and still there is the residue of the pain that was caused. And, you know, I mean, the question that I ask is, do you really want to be healed of that? Do you really want to move forward? Because some people like to live in their pain. They like the whole attention of you hurt me and I'm not getting over it. And this is why I'm the way I am. No, if you really want to get over or get past or move forward after being devastated or hurt or experience trauma, you have to allow yourself to go through the process by first starting to admit, I am really hurt. And it's okay. I mean, I've forgiven people that have really, really done some real nasty things and evil and not cool things, but it doesn't, the way people have judged forgiveness is like, if you forgave them, you should be hanging with them. Y'all should be back to where it was. No, forgiveness don't always look like that. Just because I forgiven you don't mean I'm going to roll with you, that I'm going to sit and break bread with you. I have forgiven you. When I talk about you or when you come in my presence, there is not that pain that I used to feel when I did not forgive you. So I know that healing comes from the inside. It's your heart. It's what's going on with your heart. It'll show on the outside. Do I want to roll with a lot of people that has done some really not cool things? No. You know, I'm like, you show me who you are. I know people can change, but I think that you do have that right to say, I forgive you, but I have chosen to move on with my life. And that's okay.
Wow. I love that. That's real good. That's real good.
So that was, I love that clip. I was like, yes, this is all what Restoring the Brokenness is about. It's about moving forward. It's about acknowledging your pain. It's about continually healing. I'm actively healing. I'm not saying that the things that we talk about on this show that you're going to be like, okay, tomorrow, but I'm saying that there is an opportunity to start the healing process. And the way that you can start it is being honest with yourself and just say, yeah, I'm hurt. I'm mad. I'm angry. There's a lot of people that have lost loved ones. There's a lot of people that experience breakups, and just is a whole lot of things that will cause you to go through that process of needing to be healed because you had no control over it. And you just have to start the process by admitting that you do have a pain and an injury that
Well,
needs to be addressed.
Well, I have a question. Do you always necessarily have to talk about it, or versus you dealing with it and accepting it and realizing what reality is and approaching it in that aspect, or should you always necessarily have to talk about it? I know that in order to heal, sometimes you do have to talk about it. You have to approach the person or approach someone, that a therapist or somebody that could help you wing your way through the maze of the problem that you're sitting in, so you can get it out.
I think it just depends on the person. I mean, for most women, they like to talk about it. We like to talk. But if there are certain things that you really need to, even if it's just a therapist, talking about it really is therapeutic. Writing about it is good. You know, showing expressions. Some people draw, some people do a whole burial thing, and they put that issue in a box and bury it because they're done with it. Whatever it takes for your healing process, I would say do that, but do not allow that to stay inside of you.
Okay.
Just don't. I mean, because it just makes it worse. It's not going anywhere. It's not. Okay.
Understood.
I love that. Okay. Next, what we talking about next, Al? Oh my goodness. My.
To it, but we got to get down to the.
No, you have to actually look at the paper. We have notes, and he still don't pay attention to the notes. We have notes because we forget stuff.
Busting me out,
we old people. Okay. So.
Well, our journey with COVID.
Okay, our journey with COVID. Why is he showing us still on the screen? Can you please bring that slide up? Thank you.
There you go, big guy.
Oh my God, okay, we're here. As much as we talked about COVID, we told y'all to get y'all little vaccinations. We were a big stickler, and I still am, of the mask wearing, the vaccination, being safe. And I did everything that I possibly can do to make sure that I stay safe, because at the time I had my mother, which was advanced dementia and bedridden, and she was not vaccinated. Because, I mean, you know, I think the biases of the doctors, it depends on what doctor you have, if they're going to say you should. So I was like, I don't know. So I was very careful. At least we thought.
I can just hear that song. How did you get here?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so a month ago,
man,
I think we were off 2 weeks when we had COVID. The whole entire family got COVID from my mother's caregiver. So originally she comes in every day and she works with my mother. You know, it depends on who you are. Some cultures don't really believe in this virus, or they don't want to wear their mask, or they just, you know, it's what it is, and they're just over it. And so they're very careless at times.
Right. And they believe in that
the herd immunity. And so, you know, that's fine. But when you're working with elderly, you really need to consider them
and not take a chance. What
I didn't like is the fact that the agency did not require them to be tested every week. I don't know what that was. Like, do you really care about these older people? And so you don't know that something's going on. So this particular week, she comes in. She already tried something real shiesty. I'd rather not talk about what she did that Monday, but I didn't have much to say to her. Tuesday, I think we may have spoken, but I don't think it was like, oh, blah, 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 whatever. Wednesday, I just decided, let's have a conversation. Immediately, when I heard her talk, I'm like, are you sick? And she said, oh, no, I just have a head cold. I'm really not thinking anything about it, because I've had head colds, and I know head colds are the worst colds to have. And I'm like, but you really probably shouldn't have came to work if you have a head cold. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking that perhaps she probably had it on Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, absolutely, because she didn't come in.
Yo, she played hooky on Monday.
So
she was MIA. Yeah. So I think she probably knew. but she had to get her coins in. Some people was like, I got to get my ends in. So I'm coming to work and I'm going to keep my mask on. But see, it's okay. It depends on what kind of mask you have on. And she likes to touch. It's something about African-American women hair that's soft. And my mother have beautiful hair. She does. And every time I come in there, she rubbing on mama head and her hair. I mean that. So even if she had her mask on, I'm not in there all the time. So,
Right.
She's still touchy. So by this time, I'm like, she's sick. And my mother starts to cough. And she tells her, it's your fault. She tells her care worker.
Literally tells her it's her fault.
She said it's her fault. And so she looks like, I'm sorry, whatever. I'm still not thinking COVID, people. I'm not. As much as I talk about it.
And you know what? It's a lot less potent than it was in at the end of 2019, early 2020.
2021.
It was just really, taking people out. But I don't know.
I just never,
because of the shots and everything, it came out in a milder form.
I never thought COVID.
Oof.
So I never thought COVID. By this time, Thursday, the middle child, the football player, the college, about to go to college, he lives in my mom's face. We tell him all the time, stay out of mom's face. He wants to hug her. He wants to kiss her. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's like my mother sees him. She's like, oh God. I mean, immediately she just like, oh, here he comes again. He lives in her face. So he was the first person to say, Mom, I think I have. And he said the caregiver's name. I think I got what she has. I said, you got a head cold? Still stupid to, what it could possibly be. He's like, well, I scheduled to take a COVID test. And I'm like, what? And never thought COVID. I was like, wait a minute. You mean you're going to take a COVID test if you got she has a head cold. So I already have those little free COVID tests, the government gave us. I said, go take that. When he came back and it says positive, I almost like, oh my God. I was like, no, this cannot be right.
Because means if you got something, then we need to pay another visit
now
back to Mom.
COVID is in the house.
Oh my!
And it was so weird because I'm like, I've never thought that I would say, oh my God, COVID is in my house, because I was so careful. And so he takes another test. It shows up positive. Now I'm like,
and the next test he took was an official test. He went to like Walgreens.
Well, by the second test though.
Oh.
Which was the same day. Showed up positive twice. I was like, AJ, go and give Mom a test. When the test came back positive for Mom, I just lost it. I was like, because I'm like, my mother is bedridden. She's already like one of the,
she's feeble. She's
I immediately almost lost the Lord in my life. I almost gave up. Like the song, I almost gave up. I just didn't think I could take that anymore. I'm serious. Oh my God. Oh man. I was furious. I called those people. I just went ballistic. I was like, you all need to be testing these people.
Yes.
And they were like, that is one of the symptoms. A head cold. I was like, I had no idea that was a symptom. I was ignorant to that. And so, it was just a week. My son was the sickest, I think so. He said he appeared to be sick, or he just liked the services I was providing. I mean, I was like a maid to everybody that week. Although I kind of knew that because I was always around Mom, that I probably would get it, even though I was doing everything that I thought that I should do to keep. I kind of started feeling kind of weird the following week, like I'm not feeling too well, but I never gave up. I just kept doing what I did because I was like, I'm not going. I was not finna give into this COVID thing, but it is real. And then of course, Mr. Allen got it. And when guys get stuff,
right?
It's like the world stops and you have to tend to them. And so I didn't give him much attention because I knew if I gave him attention that I would be working even harder.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it was like the worst flu I ever had because I literally fainted. I literally fell out with that one. I fell out and that was it. when I got
Well,
back, I took the test and I came up positive.
the reason why Alfred fell out, number one, you're in Atlanta, which is a very hot state, right?
It was hot.
He had on the heat in the air, what?
Because I always had
You
the
had the
chills.
heat
Right.
on, and you had blankets on
Right,
inside the hotel.
right.
You already know that's what COVID want to do. It wants you to lay down, and then it wants to give you a fever. He was the only one that got a fever.
I set up. I set up. I realized I had heard you don't lay down, so I set up and went to sleep. And by the way, my vehicle was in the shop for repairs, so they gave me a hotel, and I went to the hotel. I still had the chills, and when that fever finally broke, I fell out, and when I came to, the bed where I was sitting, it was drenched wet, and wow, I never.
It was
felt like
drenched
that.
wet because you had the heat. You had the heat on in Atlanta with blankets.
Wow.
And then when I tried to help him when he did come home, I was like, Alfred, you can't put all those blankets on. You're gonna have a fever. I said, why don't you just put a sheet on, then put the blanket on it as you get cold?
Right.
You put no. And so I just left him at be, and he got over it because I didn't give any attention to it.
Right. I didn't have the breathing situation.
No,
either.
he didn't.
It's
Mom had an issue
just a
with
bad
the
flu.
coughing because she couldn't cough it up. She didn't know how. But overall, she recovered. Thank God. It was a touch and go with the oxygen level and everything. But overall, we got through that, and it was I guess we were supposed to experience that because we were just so.
I'm so glad it wasn't 2020.
I'm glad it was
had
not.
that
It was the
experience.
Omicron. It was not the Delta, which was taking people out, and then the one when it first came out, the COVID-19.
Yes.
So guys, really, it is so real. Like you can really get it, and I know families that's just getting over it. So it's still out here, even though people are going on with their life like it's not. I'm just like, they're just going on. I guess they figure if I get it, I get it,
Right.
But that don't mean that you're going to survive. You just want to be careful with that because you don't really know how your body is going to take
And
that.
then the next strand that comes out, you don't know if it's like day one all over again, just really wreaking havoc.
Now, what did I see Brittany is on here.
Hey,
You're
Brittany.
all still what she said. You're still alive. That means the vaccination y'all did what it was supposed to do. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, just believe me when I tell you there were some people that don't believe in the vaccination. See, you got the vaccination and you still got COVID. I said they told you that you can still get COVID. It's just not as worse. It's not as bad.
Excuse me.
And that's why I'm not. And guess what? I'm gonna
right.
get the second boost. I'm gonna get it because I'm like, I don't even want to imagine how it is when you get it real bad because my fear was, Lord, I just want to breathe. I don't want to not breathe. I don't want to struggle breathing. So I'm gonna take the vaccination. I don't care what people say because that's my life. You don't have to take it. I don't even advocate. I'm not even an advocate for vaccination, but I am an advocate for prevention.
Right.
You're sick, don't go around people.
Right.
Be mindful of the crowd that you're around. Everybody is not as careful as you may be. You probably want to make sure that you keep yourself safe. So that's what I'm advocating for, prevention. How do you prevent yourself from catching it? Because you do what you want to do with the vaccination, because I'm tired of that whole argument anyway. Is there anything else, Mr. Allen?
No, I totally agree with you. Prevention is very important because there's a lot of people that's not here to prove that case.
Right.
Prevention is very important. So
exactly.
Enough said.
Okay, Mr. Allen. So we do have updates. You all remember that young man from what was he from, Al? Oh my God,
Liberia or something.
No,
he's from Africa.
The Dominican Republic, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have an update on the shooting of Patrick Lyoya. Remember, it was a simple pullover. Can we get this slide? He was just pulled over because he did not have the right place on the car, as the officer stated. But they were like, how can you tell? You were driving towards him and he was driving away from you. So how could you see his license on the back?
Absolutely.
You racially profiled this young man.
Absolutely.
And you killed him. You shot him in the head. People can say, well, he was reaching for the taser. I don't remember him even having his hands on the taser. Well, when he got shot, he didn't have his hands on the taser. The officer was on his back. He had the upper hand. There was no reason why he shot that young man in the back of his head and killed him. I am so glad that they finally trying to do the right thing. They fired him. The officer, the Grand Rapids police officer, Christopher Schurer, he was fired, and then he was charged with murder. Okay, so he was, I think he had $100,000 bail bond, and of course, you know, he's out right now. And if he is, if he's guilty, if he's convicted, he will spend the rest of his life in prison. I think that we're going in the right direction finally, because this type of foolishness and nonsense and senseless killing of our black people, our black men, our black people in general, it's not acceptable. You're supposed to protect us, serve and protect, not we need to be protected from you. So I'm praying that everything works out in this young man's family favor. They've been devastated and saddened, and it's just tragic. It's just a tragic situation that shouldn't have happened. It's a simple
traffic stop. Simple traffic stop.
Traffic stop.
And it hurts my heart because we have to fight for accountability. We have to fight to get this sort of fairness. It's kind of mind numbing. It tends to make me think there's some sort of agenda. There's some sort of agenda going on, because there's way far noticeably a difference between traffic stops and the shootings. So it's good to see something like this happen. Finally. I mean, it's good to see the accountability taking place, is what I mean. Mean here, and it'd be even better to see the officers just simply stop you and you know, nothing like this happen. If you're in the wrong, issue a citation and let that be it. Let the person live to make it home the next day. You know, so the same day. So that was tragic. Good to see something like this. Accountability take place.
So we will keep you posted on what the outcome of this. I'm sure that you'll hear more about it, because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think it's going to be long and drawn out. But yes, so I was happy to hear that. Extremely happy to hear that. So there, since the month of June, and we're in the middle of June now, there has been several high-profile shootings in May and in June, starting with the racist attack on May 14th that killed 10 black people at a supermarket in Buffalo. You know, that top supermarket? Yes. The young man was casing it for a while, and then he decided the next day to come and shoot and kill all these people because he was racist. And then there were the gunmen that killed was it the following week? I think it was the following week. He killed the 19 children at the school
and the two teachers.
And the two teachers in Texas. Okay, so that happened the following week. And then Thursday shooting happened just over a month after one person was killed and 5 injured when a man opened fire in Taiwanese. Oh, that's a church in Southern California. Now, we didn't talk about the church in Southern California.
That's up under the radar.
Yes, I think we were off or something was going on, but this is not the first time, and it's not going to be the last time that people go into the house of worship and kill people.
Yeah, I believe these were Asian people going to church.
Right. Yes, I think we're going to talk about that. We can't ignore that. And then here we go. Remember 7 years ago, at a white supremacist went into a Bible study at Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina,
Dylan
and
Roof.
killed those people.
Dylan
He
Roof.
sat in the church, in the back of the church, while they had their Bible study, waited till they finished and just shot them down like an animal.
Yeah, Dylan Roof.
So this has been a ongoing issue that I don't know. I mean, if you don't even respect the Lord, you don't care about kids, you don't care if people are in the movie theater, you can't even go shopping. I mean, walking a trail. Remember in London, they were just as tourists just enjoying themselves. They got shot down. Where can you go where it's not going? You don't threaten. You're not going to be perhaps a victim of someone going crazy and shooting up the place. It's gotten to the point that this has got to stop. I don't know what it's going to take. I just don't know, Al.
Oh, it's we definitely need sweeping firearm reforms, and just on the second, this past Thursday, the Senate introduced to the House a bill that removes the category of any weapon from the definition of firearm under the National Firearm Act. That means any person acquiring or possessing any kind of weapon must meet the registration and licensing requirements under the National Firearm Act. So now you have to register. You actually have to register.
Mm-hmm.
And the bill also raises the new age of buying certain types of assault weapons from 18 to 21, and it clamps down on gun trafficking. It restricts the high capacity.
Now that's the bill that they just passed in the House.
Yes, and it encourages weapons being stored away safely.
Well, I mean, I guess that's a start. I mean, that's a start. So now we have this shooting in Birmingham. What is that? Oh, Birmingham, Alabama. I mean, at a church service, and no, it was a potluck.
Huh. Okay.
A potluck.
Okay.
You go. Okay, so this is the information. Of course, I did my research. One of the gentlemen that were killed. Number one, these are older people. We talking this is a 71-year-old person that did the shooting. The people he shot was like 84 years old, 75 and 83 years old. They're not young people. So I'm like, what the heck is happening to the old folks? They're losing their mind too. So the gentleman comes and he goes to the church. So he went to potluck and they offered him a seat like you can see at my table. And he just goes to shooting. He goes shooting. And then one of the members hit him with a chair in his head, and of course you can see how he looked. That's the only thing that stopped him, because he probably would have killed more people. So let's look at this here. They said the church shooting in Birmingham, Alabama, leaves 3 people dead. The suspect is 71-year-old Robert F. Smith. The man is also a registered gun dealer. He's charged with capital murder. They don't play down in Alabama. You go shooting somebody and killing somebody, you're going to die.
That's capital offense.
You're going to die. You kill somebody in Alabama, they don't do that life in prison. You're going to be walking the Green Mile.
Dead man walking. Let's go move on.
I'm not making light of it.
All right.
But you gonna walk the Green Mile, buddy. Okay, that's all I got to say. You go killing somebody in Alabama, you are going to die. They don't even waste their money keeping you in prison.
Yes.
And he's 71 years old. You're dying, sir.
It does not matter.
If you're convicted, you're gonna die. You're old. They don't care about your age. You didn't care when you went in there and shot up the church. It's potluck. You eating. They ain't even preaching the word. You just eating. You can't even fellowship. What happened?
Yeah, the law is followed to the letter in states where that you can get charged for a capital offense.
And
they don't care how old you are.
They don't care how old you are. Let's look at this picture, because they jacked him up, and that before either that man that hit him in the head with the chair or police officer, somebody beat him up because when they arrested him, he had a black eye. Okay, so it says the suspect's charged with capital murder. He was accused of opening fire at a potluck. He's held without bond. Well, thank God. So, I mean, they don't even know why he did it. They're like, we have no motive. We all we know is he decided to do something that was so out of the ordinary for these people. They're just in there and they're just enjoying. They're just breaking bread and enjoying themselves.
And my thoughts and prayers honestly goes out to the families of those that were lost in that senseless shooting.
And it was senseless
shooting. Somebody lost a grandmother, great-grandmother, great-grandfather, or grandfather, uncle.
So the victims of the and see they're older, and it was so I only was able to find one picture of one of the victims. The other lady that died in the hospital, her family didn't want her name to be revealed. They didn't want that. And the other lady that was killed, they didn't release her picture. They didn't want any just no social media exposure. They just didn't want that. So the victims of the shooting at St. Stephen's Episcopal Church was Walter Rainey. He was 84 years old. Sarah Yeager, 75 years old, and then the other person that was 84. The family, that family didn't want they didn't want to share that. You can go to that slide, please. They didn't want to, and the next one, please. And that's the gentleman that was killed. Now that was the one that was asking him, did he want to sit at the table with them? And he goes to shoot, and I guess he had an issue with him. They're still investigating his motive. So tragic. This has got to stop. People are going to be like really afraid to go to church and just decide to do virtual, because if we cannot protect these people, I mean, I don't know. I'm glad somebody did something. Somebody didn't sit there and just let him go shooting. Right. Somebody actually took action. And I wonder if it was other people at the church that was armed as well.
Well, the sweeping gun laws that's coming on, it seems like you take one step forward and two steps backwards, because the reason why I say that is because Ohio has passed at least 30 gun bills, and Governor Mike DeWine, he signed a bill that allows people to carry guns without permitless bills. Yes, as long as he said, but what they would do is ask that you go someplace and get the training on how to use gun. But Governor Mike
is DeWine, it mandatory that they get training?
No, it's not even mandatory. It's not even mandatory.
Now, what is all that about?
And he also passed a bill saying that teachers teachers can carry in class after 24 hours of training.
What state is that?
This is Ohio, the state of Ohio, the great.
So I'm gonna have to go ahead and give me a teacher job and going up there and carry my pistol in my purse. I think it's not a good idea.
Yes,
I'm serious.
When you're trying to do something, then
it's just not.
Then he goes with some of the other states that are fighting for the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. No one's saying you can't do that, but
just
what we're trying to do is,
do it safe.
Yes,
have background checks. Don't give him the gun the same day. But in this case, this guy was a registered. He sold guns.
Registered gun dealer.
I'm just trying to understand how this man was able to be a person that sell guns and so freely able to get up and just go shoot people up. There has to be a psychological test given to these people. I'm sorry. Everybody should. I know a lot of people that have guns. They do. I was like, they gave you a gun?
And
They don't need a gun.
And chances are, if you're a gun dealer, you can shoot straight. So it's a good thing that somebody was able to hit him with a chair, because I think that probably would have been other lost souls, you know.
Yeah, and I mean the church, when you go to that pit, can you go to the picture of the guy with the black eye? That church, they have a lot of members there. That's a lot of members. Like, can you imagine how many people he could have killed had someone not stood up and hit him with a chair to slow him down? That's horrible. Like, we have got to just So it's like the elderly and the young people are dying now. You know, it's like within these 2 months, we've lost so many elderly and so many children, and we're still arguing about gun laws. So the most feeble, the most what do you call? They can't even defend themselves. Are the ones vulnerable? Are the ones that are suffering because we can't get it together. We keep arguing about gun laws, and they're dying. Like, we don't even care about kids no more.
It makes you wonder. If the smallest and most weakest and most defenseless, if we can allow them to pass and perish because of some sick, deranged-minded individual,
right?
You know, who's safe? And I'm talking about our children. If we could, if we could just say thoughts and prayers and go on and pass bills and stuff to allow people. Okay, well, 19 kids died the other week. Okay, well, 3 weeks later, I'm gonna sign a bill saying people can. It's called a permitless bill. It's called a permitless bill. You don't even need a permit.
So
it's sad.
This is what I heard somebody say, or I read somewhere. It says every time we have a shooting, especially in schools, everybody said their thoughts and prayers are with the family. How about putting the prayer back in the school? So perhaps we probably wouldn't have that many killings. They took the prayer out of the school, but then they pray for the kids that's in the school that were killed. So I don't understand the whole taking the prayer out of the school, but praying for the people that's constantly, the babies that are dying. You took the prayer out of the school, but you're going to pray after they get killed in the school. It's just a mess.
So that makes me wonder if that statement is genuine. If is that a genuine
that's
statement?
Just something that they say, because if they really are doing that they would really care about the kids that are dying, and they would do something about this gun
and you would allow prayer in school.
And the thing is, we know the person that really went, I forgot her name, that really did this whole thing about taking the prayers out of school. You're not going to find her family, it's like they just disappeared off the earth. This never was heard of again. I've never heard anything like that. That was really weird to me, but
very strange.
That was strange. My thing is, if you allow prayer back in the school, nobody is saying that the kids are having a prayer service. They're not. Just allow them a moment. Instead of saying the pledge of allegiance to the flag, have a moment of silence like they can really pray to their God. I don't understand what the problem is, but you're making them stand up and you're making them pledge allegiance to the flag, but you don't want them to pray silently. We got to get it together, because the flag couldn't save them. So, but you want to pray afterwards. I hate every time I hear it, it just makes me cringe, because I'm like, give me a break with this praying for the families and all this other stuff. When you took the tool, the weapon that they need, at least if they're thinking kind of weird thoughts, that can kind of bring their mind into the Lord or pray, and maybe they can get some help. But you took that away, so now you just got to pray for the people that they end up shooting. We got to do better, people. It's just got to do better. It's making me feel like I don't even want to be in the building, because if that's the type of protection I'm getting, I pass.
Well,
I pass.
If I was a teacher, I most certainly would be packing.
Right. Well,
and I'll go every week or every other week to practice and make sure I can shoot straight. Because
I don't want to do that.
but that's the only alternative, other alternative.
Well, some
because
people
they
don't like
seem-
guns like myself.
But they right, and I understand that, but
What if the
I'm
kid get a hold
different.
of the gun?
I'm different.
You have to really be very responsible if you have a gun, because then there's some teachers that are not. They just
Right.
kids steal their stuff out of the drawer. I'm telling you right now, you don't want that teacher to have access to a gun because they're careless. They're not gonna think protection. They are just, some people are just not on that level of really securing that gun
Right.
where the kids can't get to it and hurt
Well,
themselves.
you're
or
only
other
in
people.
school. You're only in school for how many hours? 12 hours or however. Well, how
I'll
long
be in
is
school no 12 hours. Give me 6.
however,
and if I'm having a good day, I say 7. But as soon as the
But
bell
as-
ring and I ain't got no meetings,
Right.
I'm out of there. I'm
Right,
not
the-
hanging around like that.
the point I'm trying to make is you're not in it's 24 hours in a day. You can carry a weapon to keep that weapon on you. You don't take that weapon off, put it in your desk or anything. That weapon needs
But
to be on your
yeah,
side.
even if it's on you and you may be in a class with kids, some kids can have emotional problems. It can happen. I'm telling you, it can go off. It's too many
that's a lot of different
opportunities.
types of scenarios.
I know, but I'm just saying it's more prone to be used against you than for you.
Right.
I don't think that's the answer. That's just my opinion.
I think that's the answer in light of the way our government is handling the situation, which they are not.
Exactly.
I think that's the answer, because if I was in Valdi or the name that's the school,
Uvalde.
right, Uvalde. If I was in Robb Elementary and I had a gun on my side, I don't know. My class wouldn't have gotten shot up. No. No.
Yeah, that's sad.
No.
That's sad.
My kids would be here today. That class is, I'm responsible for those class. Those kids become my kids, and I'm going to protect them. And
Wasn't it a teacher there that did get shot, or one of the teachers there was like, yep, he did get shot. He said that what they teach teachers to do is then it has not worked, because all you do is set those kids up as sitting ducks. When you tell kids hide behind, hide up under, that man just shot all of his kids. He lost all of his kids.
Well, that's one of the proper things to say, rather than them standing out in the open. Sometimes,
but you're telling the kids
sometimes when a active shooter gets started, their mind isn't where it's supposed to be. They can end up.
I say let them run out.
Thinking they done shot so many and leave out the classroom. Like one classroom, he went in and the kids were all in there. He looked around, never seen them, and walked out. So
that was God.
Yes.
He went in that classroom and killed all that teacher's children, and he felt like he set the kids up to be killed. We got to do better. I'm sorry. We failed our kids. We failed our kids. We failed the teachers. The system is not working for educators, children, parents. It's not working.
Right. Now, like I said in times before, like, for example, when an airplane come down, because there's money involved and there's suits involved, they grab that black box right away and they tweak and tweak and tweak until that airplane stays up in the sky. Why can't you do this for American citizens? Why can't you do that for American citizens?
I don't know. Maybe we're not worth that much.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
The NRA may not like this, but we're going to try and see how it works out.
But because we've been dealing with this for so long, I'm just wondering if they even look at us as being human beings. I'm sorry. I said it. And y'all know I would say stuff. Okay, so once again, we're at the end of let's talk about it. We have a lot to talk about. We don't have a lot of time to talk about it. But guys, listen, if you have children or know of anyone that have toddlers that are almost at school, well, not quite school age, 2-3 years old, and they may have some developmental challenges, or you suspect something, but they're not talking, they're not responding according to their, to reach their developmental milestone. Like, they're not at a certain age, a child should be doing this and that. They're not doing that. You can go and check out our business page over at what is it? One stage at a time therapy services,
Absolutely.
and where we offer services to children that require early intervention in physical, intellectual learning, language and behavior, social and emotional development. We use evidence-based practices to support parents by providing services and resources that can improve the child's performance and assist children in reaching each of their developmental milestones. You can go to www.onestage2021.com. Check out our Facebook. Check out our business webpage. If you would like a free consultation, email me at the email address that's on the page, and I'll get back with you, and we can schedule something, and we can talk about what your goals are for your child or what your concerns are. Okay, so guys, check out that page. Check it out.
Love your business.
Okay.
Beautiful.
So, Mr. Allen, once again, another day that we have come to the end of our what do you call that? Our show.
Yes.
And we're going to be rebooting this show very soon. We have some new ideas, and we'll bring. Originally, when I first started the show, it was the vision that I had with Colette Allen. It has changed. So I know you guys are looking at with Colette Allen, yes, but it has changed too with Colette and with Alfred and Colette Allen. We just haven't upgraded it, but we are. So stay tuned. Right. We have a lot to talk about. And I finally have found a therapist that is willing to come to the show and talk about depression. I know you guys waited so long, but we're going to have her on the show, and she's going to talk about depression, because this day and time, we all are experiencing some level of depression. And we just want to know what services are out there that's available to help us through it. Sometimes prayer is always a good thing. Sometimes it's good to talk to people about what, some things, challenges that you may struggle getting through. So she's going to be on the show.
Wonderful.
I'll let you guys know when. But remember, starting July 2nd, we are going to be on YouTube only. So when you got to go over now, go over to YouTube, go over to our Restoring the Brokenness YouTube channel and subscribe. So every time we're on, you will know. And if you are interested in coming over and having a conversation with us, please email us at restoringthebrokenness@gmail.com. Okay. We look forward to hearing from you. If you have any show, like you want to do a certain show.
Yes, absolutely.
Email us. We will do it, because I love what I do. I'm sure Mr. Allen does too.
I'm starting to love to talk.
He's talking a lot more now, guys. Okay. All right. So in closing, any closing remarks, Mr. Allen?
I really enjoy doing the show with you. You inspire me.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Thank you for letting me know.
And I just want to let you know that.
All right.
I'm inspired. There was a time when I didn't feel that way, but guys out there, give your significant other a chance. So
yes, we have.
So I love the show, and I love sitting here with you and doing the talk.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, guys, listen. If you missed the beginning of the show, you can always go back and watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
If you missed the show entirely, you can always go back and just watch the show.
Amazing.
Share the show on your page. The more you guys share, the more people will know we are out here, and they'll join in. As I said on my Facebook page, I was like, I support most of my friends that are trying to do something on a Facebook page. I support them. I need y'all to support me. Okay? Because I'm always giving. Sometimes I need to be giving into. I need people to support me and share and give to me.
That's right.
So please.
And they will do it.
Like and share this page, and also go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Okay? Right. Special thanks to our viewers, all of our viewers, our followers, and supporters of Restoring the Brokenness Group. Special thanks to Mr. Khalid, our baby, who ran the show today. He did such an awesome job today. He's getting so much better. Hi, Khalid. Good job, man. He'll be 13 years old in 2 months. Wow, he's growing up, man. All right, thank you, Khalid. Please remember to like and share our page. Also, follow us on Instagram, Restoring the Brokenness, or on Twitter at RT Brokenness, and of course our YouTube channel, Restoring the Brokenness YouTube channel. Also, you can email us at restoringthebrokenness@gmail.com. And remember to always be whole. That's the goal. For you to be whole, be healed, and be at peace. Goodbye.